Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 20 Wasabi powers in Brawl Stars right now. So these are the ones you want to be getting excited for when you unlock them with your sushi rolls, and then just the ones you want to be abusing to push to how many trophies you want, whether it's going to be 2,000 trophies, etc. Some of these are incredibly broken. So first off, we're going to be going through like from 20 all the way up to 11, and then we'll go through the top 10 after that. But firstly, let's jump into our sponsor. Before we get into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to Summoners War for sponsoring today's video. Summoners War are now celebrating their 11th anniversary. Summoners War is one of the most popular turn-based RPGs for 11 years with over 240 million downloads. You can summon and collect over 1,000 monsters, each with their own unique abilities. There's literally infinite customization available, and you can never get bored. In Summoners Wars, there's a huge variety of PvE and PvP content to enjoy. So whether you like PvE with solo dungeons, world bosses, rift raids, and guild events, there's so much to indulge in. Or my personal favorite, the PvP events with world arena, world guild battles, and siege events. There's so many ways to strategize and express your skill. And for their 11th anniversary, Summoners War are hosting a crazy event. Players can receive up to 200 free 11th anniversary scrolls, with each of these scrolls summoning a 3 to 5 star monster with premium light and dark monsters. There's also a special dungeon, Hall of Heroes dungeon, and a special event shop with premium and exclusive in-game items. Also, thanks to Summoners War, you can use the in-game code on your screen right here for 10 times 11-year special scrolls, 1 legendary scroll, 20 mystical scrolls, and 5 million mana stones. So make sure to download Summoners War using the link in the description below, and to make sure to make the most out of this crazy event. They're giving away so much free stuff. Now let's start off the list starting with Poco. So Poco's Wasabi power, whenever he receives any bit of damage, it starts his tuning fork gadget, so it's just gonna keep on healing. So this is gonna be really, it's gonna work really well with tanks, for example, and it's gonna work countering brawlers with a lot of projectiles. So for example, like Amber, it's gonna completely counter those types of brawlers because you'll just constantly be healing up the amount of damage they can provide. You want to avoid brawlers with single shots, so like Piper, Angela, etc., but it still can be pretty good there. But again, abuse this Wasabi power with a Hank in Brawl Ball. It's just unlimited heals. The opponent can't do anything about it. Next up, we have Surge's Wasabi power. So with Surge's Wasabi power, you can go straight away to maximum tier, and you basically have unlimited ammo. So it seems really good. The big drawback is that Surge gets outranged by a lot of the really good Wasabi powers, which we'll go into a little bit later on. But on the short range map, especially in Brawl Ball or just any short range map, you're going to get a lot of value out of this, and especially if they use it to the max star power, you're just going to unlimitedly spam against the wall and just deal so much damage. So what makes Wasabi power? So with hers, she has basically unlimited range. This honestly, I might be underrating a little bit. This probably needs to be in the top 10. It's so incredibly strong. Any long range map, you're just going to beam literally everything. The opponents can't do anything about it. It's absolutely crazy. You can cycle through hypercharges unlimited amount of times. Unlimited range is so good. Next up, we have Edgar's Wasabi. So with Edgar's Wasabi, you can literally just jump the entire length of the map, which is absolutely bizarre. This is going to be better on game modes like Showdown, but you do want to avoid a couple of brawlers like Angelo or Meeple, for example. Do not jump on those brawlers. You're going to get one shot immediately. Other than that, you're going to be able to just spring yourself across the map like crazy. Next, we have Spike. So his Wasabi power, essentially you shoot out 2 waves of spikes. They're going to curve more, and they're going to curve further as well. So you're basically guaranteed to hit a brawler every single time. The damage output is insane. The biggest drawback is that Spike has a slow reload speed, but on those longer range maps, you're going to rack up a lot of damage with this. It's very underrated. So we have Meeple's Wasabi. So with Meeple's Wasabi, it's basically Angelo's. You get 3 shots instead of 1, and with Meeple's, they all curve in. So it's a little bit less accurate than the Angelo one, but at close range, it literally deletes people. I think this is a really underrated one, but because it's Meeple, people might find it boring. Next, we have Frank's Wasabi. So with his Wasabi, he gets even more health, he gets more speed, and every single attack, he destroys terrain. But it's more so just the health and the speed. You can just run through people. The only biggest drawback is that the biggest counter is Primo, and he's one of the best Wasabi powers, but pair this with any type of healer like a Poco or Byron, and you can just run through teams in Brawl Ball. Next, we have Mortis's Wasabi power. So every single time Mortis long dashes, he will just spawn his super and fly across the map. So if you use a Cold Snake star power as well, which makes it so every 2 seconds you get a long dash. This is insane. This really helps you in 1 versus 1 interactions. Of course, it gives you that extra bit of healing. It doesn't cycle your super, but in those 1v1s, it's going to be really good. This one's very underrated. Next, we have Gus's Wasabi. So with every single main attack hit, you will drop a Ghost burst, which is actually insane. And again, very, very underrated, because if you use the health bonanza star power, you'll get 3,200 healing every time you walk over that ghost. So in 1v1 interactions, he's going to be healing up like crazy. And then you've got the cookie popper, which is the main thing. You're going to be spamming, what, like 10 ghosts at a time, and the opponents literally can't walk there, or else they'll get one shot. Thinking like gem grab or longer range maps is actually broken. But the last Wasabi power out of the top 10, it is Lily's Wasabi power. So this is probably the most fun out of every single one. Her super can basically bounce an unlimited amount of time. So you can just throw this from spawn, just make sure it bounces off across the wall, and eventually you're going to probably hit someone. You're going to randomly just teleport onto somebody. Especially on those longer range maps, you're going to be looking to counter the Pipers, the Angelos, etc. And if you just randomly spawn on them, you're going to destroy them in a 1v1. This one, I feel like is actually broken, and people haven't realized. Of course, the biggest drawback is that she's not good against tanks. So avoid the game modes where tanks are prevalent, so like Brawl. So now we're going to be moving on to the top 10 Wasabi powers. So I'm not going to order these actually, because it's so difficult to put them in order when they're all just completely broken in the right scenario. So starting off with Ash. So Ash's Wasabi power, he charges his super faster and he spawns more rats, which doesn't sound that interesting, but against those tanks and the really good brawlers, which are just getting abused in these Wasabi events, the rats can just change so much damage. Is good against those tanks as well. Again, you just provide so much value. There's not many pierce shooting brawlers in the Wasabi event that are any good. So for that reason, Ash just stomps everything once he cycles his supers. Next we have Byron's Wasabi power. So with his, he will shoot out 3 projectiles instead of 1. This is really, really good because you pair it with some of the best brawlers like Hank, like Primo, like Ash. You're going to unlimited heal them. You're also going to unlimited cycle your super as well. What is there not to like about this Wasabi power? It's absolutely broken and one of my favorites. Next we have Piper's Wasabi power. So with hers, she shoots out 2 shots instead of 1, which paired with snappy sniping is absolutely broken. Just for example, this gem grab map that's out right now, she's basically untouchable and unkillable. So incredibly strong. You've got to abuse it on these longer range maps. Next one on the list is Finks. So Finks is absolutely one of the best Wasabi powers. His super literally is around him at all points. So any brawler with any type of projectile, it's going to be impossible to even hit a Finks, and then your projectile is also boosted and extra damage. Of course, that's what his super does. And then with his normal super, you can just probably throw it out to your teammates and help them. It's incredibly broken. The only counter to it, unfortunately, is Primo, and Primo is one of the best. So you will face a lot of Primos and you will struggle, but outside of that, he's just busted. Next we have Amber's Wasabi. So this one is absolutely broken. Honestly, this should be in the top 3. So with Amber's Wasabi, her main attack fires 2 lots of fire instead of 1. So absolutely broken. And then wherever you're running around, a little puddle will follow you. So not only does this charge up either one of your star powers, you then got to consider the mythic gear on top of this, because you're cycling supers like crazy. The second you even breathe on someone, they're just dead instantly. They can't even do anything about it. You're again cycling supers, dealing so much damage, and where you're treading, you can just leave that, and the mythic gear is going to do wonders with that. So it's just absolutely broken. Next we have Tick's Wasabi power. So it's just like the mutation. Every single super will launch 3 tick heads, which is very strong. Especially I was playing it in Brawl, and I was unlimitedly just cycling my supers like crazy. All the assassins couldn't do anything about it, and then hypercharged supers on top of that. It's so hard to deal with. It easily is one of the best Wasabi powers. So broken. So we have Kenji's Wasabi power. So this could easily be a top 3 one. So he has extremely fast reload speed. Basically, you can just spam attacks unlimitedly. You'll never run out of ammo. So that's really good, because you in 1v1s, you're going to infinitely just deal insane damage, but also heal on top of that because it's built into him. You're going to cycle through supers like crazy. You're going to fly around the map, just being able to dash around like crazy, and you've got the hype charge on top of it. It's just completely busted. Next we have Angelo's Wasabi power. So with Angelo's Wasabi power, he shoots out 3 projectiles instead of 1, so just like a couple of like Meeples and Byrons. But this one's completely broken because, of course, one of his main attack arrows deals 4,000 damage. So anybody up close, if an Edgar jumps onto you, as a Primo jumps onto you, you can deal like 12k damage instantly. It's absolutely busted. And then you've got the Pierce gadget on top of that. He's just broken. He honestly probably is the best one out of every single one. So next we have Primo's Wasabi power. So with Primo's Wasabi power, he can travel faster when jumping using his super, and it also charges faster as well. So basically unlimited supers, and the opponents will have no reaction time to deal with it. And Primo has one of the best supers in 1v1 situations. So to pair this with El Fuego, you're going to be flying around the map. In Brawl, you literally can't do anything against this. It's broken. So the last Wasabi power on the list is Hank's Wasabi. So it's just like the mutation. Whenever Hank receives any damage, his fish torpedoes will just fly across the map. It's more so with projectiles. So the lower the projectile damage, the more value you get out of it, if you get what I mean. So if an Amber's shooting at you, then you've got to deal just infinite damage. If a Piper shoots at you, it's not really going to get much value. But this is paired really well with Byron, with Poco in Brawl. So if you're going to run a composition with any healer and a Hank, there's hardly anything the opponents can do. You'll just get deleted. And then on top of that, Heist as well, completely busted. So as a standalone brawler, it's pretty hard to make Hank work with this mutation, whatever you call it. But with healers, completely busted. So guys, let me know down in the comment section below whether I've missed out on any. There's probably a couple that are underrated, but I think for the most part, these are definitely the broken ones. There's so many broken ones. These top 10, honestly, just completely busted. Make sure to try them out. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.